There are 7 plants in the far future world, and well, today I'm going to be ranking every single one of them from worst to best, starting off at the number 7 spot with EM Peach. Now, the main reason why EM Peach is the lowest one on the entire list is, well, he's not really usable outside of the far future world, as well, the only thing that he's meant to do is turn off the machines. As well, he can temporarily turn off the machines, making them much easier to kill, as well, they literally just stand still for a while, which is actually really useful. And well, since there's barely any machines outside of the far future world, it basically makes them completely useless in the majority of the other worlds, as well, the only other zombies that could really get disabled are the Yeti zombie and also a few other really obscure ones. So honestly, the majority of the time, outside of the far future world, this plan is completely useless and you can't really use it at all, so yeah, overall, that's the reason why it's this low on the list, is was basically unusable outside of the far future world, which makes it much less useful than the other plants on this list, as well, every single other plant on this list could be used pretty well outside of far future, but this is the only plant that can't really be used outside of it. And well, it costs a total of 25 sun, it has a pretty long 25-second recharge time, which also sort of hinders its ability. And well, it disables all the machines at a 5x5 radius, so yeah, overall, it's not really that bad of a plan, but honestly, you can't really use it outside of the far future world. And well, at the number 6 spot, we have the tile turnip, and well, the main reason why this plan is this low on the list is, well, once again, it's not really too practical to use, as well, the sun cost gets way too high. As well, the tile turnip starts at 0 sun, but very quickly starts to gain sun, making it completely unusable after only a few tile turnips. So you could rarely even use this plan, as well, after a few times of placing it down, you can't really use that at all, as well, it becomes basically impossible to get enough sun, unless if you're just hacking the game or something. As well, it very quickly goes into the thousands of sun, which obviously you can't really get legitly, unless if you have tons of sunflowers. So yeah, that's the main reason why it's so low on this list, and while it has a 10-second recharge time, which isn't too bad, but yeah, overall, the tile turnip really isn't too bad of a plan, but once again, it's not really practical to use. And well, this plan also sort of relies on plant food, as well, if you don't get any plant food, you can't really use this plan, as well, yes, you could place plants on top of the tile turnip, but you can't really do anything with them if you don't have plant food. So the majority of the time, it would just be much easier to just place down the normal plant by itself and just use plant food on that one plant, not waste a ton of sun. Now, in the number 5 spot, we have Citron, and well, most people might be surprised by this one, as well, a lot of people think that Citron is a really good plant, but in my opinion, he just really isn't that good. As well, he costs 350 sun, which is much higher than the majority of the plants in the entire game, as well as just a really high sun cost for some reason. Which already makes this plant worse than the others, as well as just a really high sun cost, though he does have a pretty fast recharge time of 5 seconds, but that doesn't really matter, as well you probably won't be buying them back to back. And while this plant is actually pretty good with the damage, as well it does an insane 800 damage from one hit, so yeah, overall it's a really good damaging plant, though it's just really slow. As well, it could take forever for the Citron to get all the way up into the shooting ability, and well, even if it does shoot, there are some other plants in the game that are more powerful than it. So yeah, honestly, there's just much better options than Citron, as well, since he costs 350 sun, there's much cheaper plants in the game that deal even more damage than 800 damage, just work more efficiently. As well, honestly, if Citron was just a bit more efficient, had a faster firing rate, it would actually be a much better plant, as well, it could do a lot more. Now, in the number 4 spot, we have the Magnifying Grass. Now, this plant costs 50 sun, it has a 5-second recharge time, so at first, it looks like a pretty cheap plant, as it only costs 50 sun. Though, you'll quickly realize that this plant actually fully relies on sun, as well, without the sun, it doesn't really do anything at all, and it just sort of sits there. As well, it costs 50 sun to shoot the Magnifying Grass, and well, you have to be pretty precise with it, as well, even if you accidentally hit the Magnifying Grass, it'll automatically shoot it. So you have to sort of be careful, as well, even if you just have only 50 sun and accidentally click the Magnifying Grass, you could easily just lose all your sun really quickly, so you have to be careful with that, and you also have to aim pretty well, as it'll only shoot straight. Though it does deal a good amount of damage, as well, it deals 550 damage, which really isn't that bad. Though it isn't as high as some plants like the Citron, it still does a pretty good amount of damage compared to the majority of the other plants. Though I feel like there's just much better and much cheaper options, as well, if you place down something like an overpowered plant for more than 50 sun. Let's say that the plant costs 250 sun, after 4 uses of the Magnifying Grass, it'll be up to 250 sun, as well, it costs 50 sun to place it, and 50 sun to shoot it every single time. So I feel like it's just sort of a waste of a sun, as well, you can place much better plants down, and also much more expensive plants down, and it'll just work much easier. As well, you actually have to be paying attention when using this plant, as well, with the majority of the other plants in the game, you can sort of just place them down, and the majority of the time, they'll just do their thing. But with this plant, you actually have to pay attention. Make sure to tap the plant when a zombie's near it or it'll just get eaten. So yeah, Magnifying Grass is overall really not that bad of a plant as well. It has a few strengths, but also has a lot of weaknesses. And while at the number 3 spot, we have the Laser Bean. Now, this plant costs 200 sun. It has a pretty fast recharge time of only 5 seconds, which is actually pretty good, though it only deals 40 damage. So you're probably wondering why this plant is so high, as well, if it does such a low amount of damage, how could it be number 3 on the list? And well, that's because it can actually hit every single zombie in the line. As well, in one line of the line, it's able to hit every single zombie in the entire line, which actually makes it really useful, as well, if there's a ton of zombies in one lane, it can actually kill a lot of them. As well, especially because it has a pretty fast firing rate, it can actually deal a pretty good amount of damage, especially if you have multiple of them in the same row. And the lasers that the laser beams shoot also can't be blocked, as well there's a few zombies in the game that can basically block every single projectile that comes at them, such as the Jester zombie that can basically avoid all the P's in the game, though it can't really avoid the laser at all, and same thing with the Shovel zombie. Which actually makes laser beam really useful, as well literally no zombie in the entire game could ever block the laser, so yeah, that's just one really good thing about laser beam and why it's so high on the list. Now at the number 2 spot we have Infina. Well, this is just sort of a better version of the Walnut, as well it works extremely well, mainly just because of this plant food. As well, I'm going to be completely honest, if it wasn't for Infina's plant food, it wouldn't really be too high on this list, it would be much lower down. As well, by itself, it's really not that good, as well it costs 75 sun, has a pretty long recharge time of 15 seconds, it only has 2000 toughness. And well, the plant food is the main thing that makes this plant really good, as well it spawns a giant wall that blocks the entire lawn. As well, it has an insane amount of toughness, and you can plant multiple infinites in the same row and use plant food on all of them, making an insane wall that can take forever for the zombies to get through. As well, even if there's a ton of zombies eating the walls, it won't be able to get through them, as well if there's multiple walls, it's basically just be impossible for them to get through, especially with them being attacked by the other plants, so yeah, that just is one thing that basically makes this plant extremely overpowered. It also regenerates its health over time, which is really useful, as well even without the plant food, it can slowly regenerate itself, and it can slowly regenerate the wall when you use the plant food. So yeah, there's basically a ton of reasons why. This is just a better Walnut, and you could basically just use it at any single level of the game, it'll be extremely overpowered, so yeah, that's why it's this high on the list. Now, at the number 1 spot, for the best plant in the entire far future world, we have Blover. Now, this plant costs 50 sun, it has a pretty fast recharge time of only 5 seconds, which is actually really good. And well, there's only one reason why that this plant is the highest on the list, as well, literally, without this one reason, it would be one of the lowest tiers on the entire list. As of honestly, the only reason why this plant is at the number 1 spot is because of its combo with Reinforcement, as well when you spawn in, it shoots all the zombies into the air for a really short amount of time, but if you place down the Blover in the containment at the exact same time, it'll blow all the zombies off the entire board. As well, any zombie that's in the air at the time of the Blover being placed down, it'll blow immediately off the board. And well, because of the containment, shooting all the zombies into the air, as soon as you spawn in the containment, you place down the Blover, it'll clear the entire lawn instantly. Which is just an extremely overpowered combo that can literally be used in every single level of the game. And well, temporarily, Blover became one of the worst plants in this entire world, as well it used to have a combo with Spring Bean that did the exact same thing. So for a little while, Blover was one of the worst plants in the entire world until the containment came out and this new combo worked. So yeah, by itself, it could shoot a few zombies away like the Jetpack zombie, but besides that, it can't really do a lot besides this combo, making it one of the most overpowered plants in the entire game. So yeah, that was my ranking of all the far future plants. Comment down below if you agree with my list or not, and feel free to leave your own list in the comment section below, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please like and subscribe, and have a great day.